One of the benefits of LVM is that you can resize it easily. It's useful if your file system is running out of disk space and you want to make it bigger. Now let's look on how it works. Typically it starts with df-h. Here you can see that my LV that I just created has 85 MB of disk space, and if it will be full completely or almost completely, it's easy to make it bigger. If you want to make the file system bigger, you should consider the order to do it, because file system sits on the top of LVM. And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the lvs command, which displays all the logical volume. So now what I'm going to do is I'll type lvs, and we can see that my LV has a size of 96 megabytes, and there is no free space. That means in order to make file system bigger, we should work bottom up. So first we need to make volume group bigger. The only way to do that is by adding a physical volume. So how do we add a physical volume? And we see that there's no free space, as you can see there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a physical volume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fdisk utility. So let's do fdisk dev stb and see what we've got there. We'll type p to print the partition table. As we can see, we have 3 partitions, which means there is space for one more. Now it might be possible after creating a single partition, I might need additional partition. To make sure I can add additional partitions at a later stage, I'm going to create a partition that I'm going to add now, an extended partition. And within the extended partition, I'm adding a logical partition. And the logical partition I'm going to use as a PV. So first thing what I'm going to do here is press N. What does N do? And creates a new partition. As you can see, it tells me there are 3 primary partitions and there is only one free. And this is exactly why system default takes an extended partition. So I'm adding an extended partition. Extended partitions usually consume the rest of the remaining space. So I'm pressing enter for the first sector and enter for the last sector. To take all the remaining space, we can confirm that by printing P. Like before, we need to change the type of the partition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the last size as 100 megabytes. If I do P again, I'll see STB files like before, but now we need to change the type of the partition. So I'm typing T and giving it 8E, which is default for Linux LVM. I'm happy with everything right now. Now I do W and part pro. So once I do W and part pro, I demonstrated in the previous line how we created a physical volume and then volume group. In this presentation, I want to take a shortcut. So we want to resize the volume group. Let's do VG tab and see there is anything that looks like that will make volume group bigger. You see we have VG extend. I'm using VG extend -- help. VG extends need a volume group and a physical device part, and the idea is that entire physical device is added to the volume group. So I'm typing VG extend VG my VG followed by dev STB5. And it doesn't really matter that STB5 hasn't been marked as a physical volume, because VG extend will see that it meets all the conditions to make it a physical volume, and it will automatically create it as a physical volume. If we do VGS, we can see VG has gone bigger, and there is now 96 megabytes of available space. So at this point, we can do LV extend to make the volume group bigger. Now let's do LV extend -- help to have a look at the parameter. There are different ways of making it bigger. It's the -L or uppercase class. So what you can do is you can specify absolute number of extents to be added. And you can also specify something like a plus and a percentage of VG or PE, whatever. The solution I prefer is LV extend minus lowercase l plus 100% free. This ensures me all available disk space and volume group is added. I also like -R. No matter what file system it's using, it's resizing the file system as well. You could do that differently by taking two different steps, which is first to make a log volume bigger and then to make a file system bigger. But why do you want to do it in two different steps if you can do it one step? The next argument, what we need here, is the device path. So dev VG my VG, LV my LV, and you can see that it's extending the logical volume to 192 megabyte, and it's automatically calling resize to FS, which is the utility to resize file system. It also sees that the file system is currently mounted on MNT, and now the result is if I do df -h on this, you can see that I have got a 186 megabyte file system. That's how you grow a logical volume. Thank you.